a cardboard box, actually. Cardboard box with Christmas lights in it.
Weightless, dude. That's a cardboard cutout that you made.
Your phone. It's not a real phone.
No, it's not hooked up.
It's not hooked up. It's not on a cord.
I stole a display from a cell phone case place. Doctor, I fixed it.
Doctor fixed
I
it, right.
stole one.
Well, there's that place is under construction now. That whole
A car drove through it. You think I'm joking?
Was it you? Was it you that drove it?
Oh wait, no. I'm talking about the one over on Broward, the one right next to Foxy Brown.
Pete's got bad blood with the one on Las Olas. I saw him curse the kid out.
The one by Foxy Brown, a car.
He was by no means.
A car drove into it.
What happened?
The one by Foxy Brown.
When did that happen?
It was on.
Fix his phone.
What was it on? I think it was on Super Bowl Sunday. A guy just drove through.
He was drunk.
I don't know if he was drunk. I don't know.
I'm willing to bet.
Super Bowl Sunday, you actually drive your car into a retail store.
Into a cell phone store.
You're drunk as shit. Oops. Have you ever found yourself like, oops, I've been in a store and like.
And that's like the worst place for a fucking store,
I
though.
drove into a
It's
store.
the worst place to put a fucking store, though. Like, all that you have to do is drive straight and you're into the fucking front of the store.
The worst place to put the store was where the store is?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yes.
That's the worst place to turn your car.
No, the worst place to put a store.
You had two
It's
options.
the worst place to put a fucking store.
Two options. Do what a billion people have done before and go straight, or veer hard at the right into a cell phone repair store.
No, that's a different one than what we were talking about.
Oh.
Wait, so there's a multiple.
I'm talking about the one that's on Broward.
Yeah.
You know when you're next to Foxy Brown?
Yeah.
And people can turn like
There's a big
left to
sign
get
there.
onto
Yeah,
Broward.
construction.
A car drove into that one. Instead of going left, they fucking drove straight.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm just picturing someone who's just like on the phone or whatever. Yeah, and then they just like drove straight.
I bet you they fell asleep before it happened.
I bet you they left that shitty bar.
Which, Wilder?
And that what's the one in the corner that we hate? It smells like frat.
Oh, American
Which one's that?
Social.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Did
definitely
you see
something.
Mango's open back up?
Yeah, it's weird.
It's really weird.
Yeah, it's like all hip
It's really bizarre.
trying to be like young.
So it's like old Argentinian moms.
It's
and they're like,
uncomfortable.
what's your name? No, you're not.
You were 20, 15 years ago.
Your second husband.
What's your name?
Your second husband is dying.
And you're just waiting it out for money.
Yeah, just trying to get the millennials in there. Look, we're hip. We have cool colors and
God.
shit.
We're fluorescent now.
I feel
Like,
like millennials
Mango's-
take a bad rap, but they're in charge now.
I feel
Fucking
like
taking
there's
over.
like millennial bar
did take
like
over.
fucking flags. If you walk into a bar and there's AstroTurf, you're in a fucking millennial bar.
You know you're in the wrong place.
There's
God
AstroTurf
damn it, I didn't mean
and Giant Jenga, you're in a fucking millennial bar.
And DJs.
You've crossed
DJs are
over.
everywhere.
Giant board game, Giant Jenga, Giant Connect 4, or like some other ginormous game from like the 90s.
It's just a normal game bigger.
I feel like it's the only way they could get their attention anymore. Like, video games are too popular.
That's
Look
actually-
at us.
That's
Look
a good.
at us.
It's Sega, but huge.
Yeah.
Now I'll play.
Honey, I
it.
blew up your favorite games.
Which is funny that they have to blow it up to get your attention.
They wouldn't play Jenga, but if you make it 6 feet tall, they're like,
They'll
whoa.
definitely catch your attention.
Yeah.
Whoa. I didn't like Connect 4 before, but now that it's massive.
This shit's amazing.
Millennial Monopoly is like, you're the game piece.
What is the like mentality behind that? Why is Jenga all of a sudden the coolest game ever?
It just made this weird comeback.
It's always at breweries.
Yeah, why is this such a
because
cool?
they've added truth or dare to it.
Yeah,
I feel like, or like different random.
variations.
Yeah.
I think it's a fun drunk thing, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And you
anything's
challenge
more fun
yourself.
when you're drunk.
Yeah.
Like, pool's too complicated, so like just
Pools.
yeah, like take a
simplest
square
thing you could
block
possibly
and
do.
put it on top.
And if it falls, it's supposed to.
That's why they cornholes around. 'Cause you just chuck
And I
it.
think it's a game.
Proofing toys for their
Yeah.
for idiots.
It's a game
Yeah.
that no one gets mad at.
Yeah.
Like no
Yeah,
one
for some reason
like, it doesn't
everyone's
get
happy
too
when it
competitive.
falls, yeah.
You know, when it falls, like whoa!
And if you do, you're an asshole. Like, come on, bro.
You said too much. It's time to go home.
I knocked over the block tower. Are you an adult? Because you should be able to get over that. Hump. Shouldn't
Did
affect you
Did
at
someone
all.
change your diaper, sir? Do you
Yeah.
need your?
Forget, I lost big Jenga.
The block tower.
You should probably go get mental health.
Yeah, it's
That shouldn't affect you.
The way you looked at him, I'm so,
Just,
dude.
I pulled it and then the thing went
then
that
it
way.
fell.
It's just strange the things that like get our attention, you know. Like I was reading this article. I think it just happened like today. Kylie Jenner tweeted about Snapchat, and it said like,
It's like $1 billion.
does anyone use Snapchat
Wait, first of all,
anymore?
that's the most like millennial sentence.
Yeah.
Kylie Jenner tweeted about Snapchat. I feel like the internet itself was like, this is too much. Like,
Yeah.
we're
She
imploding.
tweeted why no one's using it, and then Snapchat lost like $1.5 billion in stock revenue or stock whatever.
These kids have cult-like followings. Like
It's crazy.
Jaden Smith can be like, guys, we should recycle, and all little kids are like, recycle.
Dude, what
They
he
have
says-
weird like hero worship, like celebrity cult.
Well, this is
I
where
feel
we're
like
at, but
They
Yeah,
follow. They
but this
follow these
generation's
people, like,
now
they
starting
follow
to
the Kardashians like they are loyal. Like,
But are they
royalty.
anymore? That's not. That's not the thing anymore.
it's a
I feel like
false,
now
royalty.
it's like back. I guess 5 years ago, it'd feel like I watched the Kardashians and everybody did. Now it's like you watch it because it's ironic. I don't think people really
I think
follow
people,
it as much as they used to.
people are still concerned with their lives.
They
For
make
some-
the
for some
news, but it's
reason.
not like a big deal anymore, like it was. Like it's our royal family
Yeah.
for some reason.
No, but like every time they do anything,
People are on it.
Like Kim wore this coat and bag.
Well, every
Who
time
the fuck cares?
every time one of them gets pregnant, it's like, oh
Yeah.
shit, they're
He's
pregnant.
Kanye, he's the father. Who's delivering the baby? Blah, blah,
Which I don't understand
But
why
we're
people
talking
care
about
so much. Why do people care about
'Cause we're all
someone
talking
else's
about it right now.
pregnancy?
yeah.
But I feel like is it just fun to watch, or like what is the
I don't get it.
attraction? I don't.
It's a voyeuristic approach, I guess.
I think
people
we're
take.
all three on the same level, so we're kind of unqualified to be like.
Yeah.
From the
Like,
other side, yeah.
My
But
mom watches like The Bachelor. I'm like, turn this shit off.
What the fuck are
This
you
fucking
watching?
guy gets to pick his ideal woman out of 22 women, and they're all in love with him. No, they're not.
They're all clamoring after.
Yeah, they
I
don't
guess-
all love.
I guess
Jake.
you can
Jake's
look at
alright.
it.
But like
He's kind of dumb.
all
but
this reality TV stuff is like keeping up with the Kardashians. No, you don't need to keep up with them.
you need
Let
to
them
keep up
just
with your
fucking
fucking self.
go do some shit. You
I
can
guess
do
you
your
can
own
kind of
shit.
look at it as just being like watching a Netflix series. Like we all watch like Stranger Things or Breaking Bad or whatever it is, you know. I mean,
But those are actors.
those are actors, but
That's a-
We know the difference.
That's a script. Like,
in a way,
I love Breaking Bad, but
they're
I'm not gonna
also
follow
actors,
Bryan
you know, like,
Cranston's
they-
like morning routine.
I mean, they're also actors, just in like behind camera phones, pretty
Yeah,
much.
they shot their Christmas
instead of like
episode
regular
in July.
cameras.
I don't think they're exactly,
Yeah.
Like they are. I mean, we do follow them as if they are like a scripted sort of life.
I feel like it's because it's a look into something that people really want to be a part of, that like rich lifestyle, and so you want to see what it's like, and so
I
that's
guess so,
why,
yeah.
I guess.
So strange.
I don't get it.
And what's even crazier is like how much power they have now.
Yeah,
Like-
the fact that they can tank $1 billion worth of
Yeah,
stock for
like some of the biggest companies now are like social media or like
Yeah.
search engines, like Facebooks and the Googles and the Instagrams. Like there's people on these platforms that are crazy influencers that can tell people to do things and they'll do it, and they'll just listen without question.
Also, how much money these people make just
Yes.
for mentioning products. Like Kim Kardashian, like she mentions like Burt's Beeswax, and they're like, "We'll give you $5 million. Just wear
Say it.
Burt's
Just say it.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
say
Just
wax.
say it. Just say it.
Don't even say Burt's.
Just
say wax.
Just bring burst beans.
hint at it.
Yeah.
Hint at it. Like get drunk and say it. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Fart and then wink and show it.
We'll put up the logo. It's
yeah,
fine.
no. Social media is becoming this weird influencer base. Like,
But how? Okay, but how could that even possibly dip their stock? It just seems so bizarre.
Because so many users leave, and then no one's
weird.
clicking or watching ads.
Who's that in tune to their thing that? Oh, Kylie Jenner said it. Now we got to back out.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's what I don't get. That's what-
dude, if Rihanna said Facebook is whack, you know, Facebook would crumble.
It would disappear tomorrow.
Yeah, man, Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg.
See, you already forget. That's how much it
What's
would be
his name?
gone.
Old
Oh, Marky
just
Wahlberg.
Marky Mark.
I mean, just imagine if 10 A celebrities said, "Yo, get off of Twitter." How many of them would actually leave? You'd be millions of people who'd be like, all right, I'm leaving. This person said I
See,
should
but now
leave.
you're going to start to see
Taylor
laws get
said
in
it,
place
Kanye said
to
it.
block. There's got to be some kind of, like, you can't make comments about other companies. Like, that's going to start coming down the pipe.
Yeah.
You can't say that because now it influences. Like, over a certain amount of followers, like, if you have 15,000 followers...
You can't say shit
Can't say
about
shit.
anybody.
If you have 14,998, you can just say whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then people are going to
think
start
it is
kicking their
like-
followers off so they can say
It
whatever
is
they want.
It is
Get
like
outta
a
here.
new
Always have
thing.
$14.99.
How do they draw that line for this? Like Coke can't make a commercial where they state another company's name. There's like laws around that, you know. It's like you can't say Toyota fucking sucks, and then, like or whatever. Like Sprite sucks. You can't. They can't go say that because there's like
sucks. Drink
Sprite will
Mountain
give
Dew,
you
bitches.
AIDS because there's like laws around that. But if
Yeah.
you're an influencer, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say, and they can't do anything. And I think it's just like a new time that we're living in now that no one's really been here yet. It's like
Yeah,
wait a
this is
second.
uncharted territory. People do,
That
'cause you
Coke
have-
commercial reached 10 million people. Kardashians have 100 million followers,
Yeah.
and they can say whatever the fuck they want to say.
People are very out of touch with the people that are the politicians that are so out of touch with how people really are that you just watch interaction like the town hall shooting thing last night
Yeah.
from CNN. Just having real people that were shot at a few days ago talk to these people and they just steamroll over their conversation
Yeah.
just to talk about their accomplishments.
They give them the first like 10 seconds of like, I'm so sorry. I'm
and then
I'm
the
so
smile
sorry.
comes back on.
You
so
know
sorry,
in the back
but-
of their minds,
You know,
they're
look what I
thinking-
did.
Yeah.
In the back of their minds, they're thinking, "Oh God, I need so much of that NRA money.
Yeah.
This girl is pouring her heart out,
But then that's another thing.
that
with, like,
$500,000
influence.
is gonna pay
Yeah.
me."
It's a whole other influence thing, you know, to where
It's
the,
bribery.
Yeah.
Lobbying
But
is
pretty soon,
bribery.
influence is not going to be just so much in money, which is how we're going to hopefully get lobbyists out of the way. It's going to come through followers. It's
Why
gonna
is
come
lobbying legal?
I don't
That's
know.
my question.
Through, they
I
can
don't
skirt
understand
laws.
either.
It shouldn't be called lobbying. It should be called bribery. Because look, you're elected to represent the people of your whatever your
Constituency.
district. Yeah. And you're voted by those people to represent them. Then you go to power, and somebody over here says, "I'll give you $1 million. Fuck those people," and you take that money.
Yeah.
That's a complete undermining of democracy and
And then you look at
representation.
people in the
And then
face
they
and
have
go,
all
"No,
this
I
money.
care about you."
They have all that money to do smear campaigns
Mm-hmm.
and to kind of float themselves and to do these things and make these very superficial public appearances and say, "I represent you, I represent you." Then they go and they say, "I don't fucking represent you. I represent the dollar at the end of the day."
Is it even worth it though? Like,
Any member of Congress taking money and anybody going to Capitol Hill offering money should go to jail.
Well, this is how
That would actually be democracy.
But we're starting to see through all that before. Before you didn't have the internet, you didn't have the resources you have to be able to see through it. So they were able to put on this politician voice that played well to the cameras. And now we're in a new generation where they don't look at the TV anymore. They're on the computer and they can see through the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So all this speech that they're trying to give doesn't work on the kids, and they don't understand why it doesn't work. And so now you're starting to see the kind of reversal, this turn that
No, these kids are taking charge and they're saying,
yeah.
right.
they're actually, I'm very proud of them. They're the generation that's saying, like, this is not how it works.
The only thing that with these kids that's unfortunate is that they're gonna have to keep on doing this until the midterm elections. They can't stop until November.
Yeah.
When is it? It's in November.
Yeah.
So they literally can't stop for the next whatever it is, 9
they're
months.
pushing them.
9 months. They gotta keep on going because that's when you can really make a difference. Like these politicians can say things now so that the shit just kind of cools down. Okay, we'll fucking do it. And then the shit will kind of cool down and then we'll all forget.
Do
And
you
they keep the
think-
pressure on them until November and people are like, oh shit.
Do you think if there's not some kind of common sense gun laws passed in the next couple months that it's just gonna go away? No way.
No.
It's not.
But
No.
these are all stupid buzzwords: common sense gun laws, bump
I'm
stock.
talking
all these
more
things.
thorough background checks, longer waiting periods. like you shouldn't be able to go in and just buy 100 rounds of ammunition. There's 0 people in America
But why-
currently that need all this ammunition.
What is the purpose of honestly? What is the need for guns? Like,
That's
what
exactly.
seriously?
You don't need it at
Hunting
all.
and home defense was the only
Home
You don't need
defense
it at
against
all.
who?
an intruder.
People who have guns. That's it.
yourself.
People who have guns. People need guns to protect you from other guns.
So I feel like
I'm not against somebody having handguns
Pistols are fine.
to prevent against an intruder. I think you could do it non-lethally, equally as well. And somebody comes in. There's tasers. There's beanbags that hurt like a motherfucker and stop you in your tracks. And it's not a bullet that go through walls and like. If you shoot at somebody in your house, it's going right through the drywall.
Yeah.
So if you miss, and there's a bedroom.
Wherever it goes,
It might go out
in
in
an
the
apartment
street.
complex.
Yeah. There's no end to that bullet until it fucking finally stops. So, and your average person is way, way unqualified to handle a gun. Way unqualified.
The thing that's really stupid about it is that people will say like, "Oh, it's such a complex issue." But it's really fucking not a complex issue. There are guns and they're killing people.
Yeah.
I think it's only complex because it's been
there's money.
it's been legal for so long.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, there's so many out there. There's like 100 million guns out there. How the fuck can we control all of them? It's gone out of control now.
People need to be realistic. I saw this week. People are showing up. They're like, look, this gun is way too much for what I need.
Yeah.
I don't need it. People are handing them over to police departments.
Well, because
You
the
gotta
only
be
people
realistic about what you actually need. And
Yeah.
I know you might like your big fucking toy, but stop being a child because that's not a toy.
That's exactly what it is.
Murders hundreds of people.
People, it's just this American mindset to where it's like, we just want to have the best. We want to have the best possible thing. Like, a pistol isn't enough. It's not enough. I saw that guy has a fucking machine gun.
It's one-upmanship. Yeah, my neighbor's got a shotgun now.
And it's like, oh, my neighbor got the new Acura, I'm getting a new fucking Mercedes. And it's like, you have to always be like flexing on somebody, to where it's just like, you have to be either showing up yourself to where it's like, and this little fucking AR is not enough. Like, I gotta get a sniper rifle. And it's like, you're always trying to either one up yourself or one up someone else. No one is ever okay with what they have, with what they have,
Yeah, look, if you live in Alaska and you got to be worried about brown bears, fucking have the gun that you need to protect yourself and your family. But if you live in Des Moines, Iowa, you don't fucking need shit. You don't. You don't even need a gun. You need an alarm on your house so if somebody breaks the window, beep, 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 that's it.
Yeah.
End of story, cops are there. These guys are so militarized in their minds. And
Well, they have it all built up.
Like,
There's so much animosity
and they
and
think
anger
like
right
they
now.
think somebody's gonna come in and they're gonna jump to action like some kind of fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme fucking action. And meanwhile, like Barry's an accountant and he fucking can't even walk to the end of the street.
But since you
Picture himself with just gunning down.
Since you
intruders.
bring up movies, is that part of the reason to where
Maybe.
we've made up these heroes where people are like, damn, I want to be like fucking Jean-Claude, I want to be like fucking Bruce Willis,
I feel like
want
that
to
exists,
They
but
I want to be.
They walk on a John Wick and
I want to be Die Hard. Yeah. I mean, honestly,
I'm John Wick.
how many guys? Do you think,
I'm John whacking off.
Wick.
Yeah.
how many
Honey, I
guys?
told you don't come in when I'm watching John Wick.
I mean, is that a part of it though? Is part of it like we've kind of gotten ourselves used to this like violent culture to where like
No, because I don't
I think
believe
it's
that media that much influences people. If
people
you,
are influenced by fucking Kylie Jenner.
But, and that's the thing. Like, if you're that influenced by
Like,
the
a
media,
19-year-old
you're gonna
girl.
take it on and shoot. Like, you need to not be a person, and that goes out. And You need to be your right to vote should be taken away.
Yeah.
Because you no longer have a rational mind, and so why are you a part of this?
I think it's
If you watch,
if
like,
people can be influenced by a 19-year-old girl who doesn't do anything, people can definitely be influenced by a movie that you go to pay to
That's what's
see.
so frustrating. It's like you can't. This is why we can't have nice things.
no, guys
Exactly.
walk out of Avengers and they're like, I'm gonna fucking can.
I'm getting a fucking
Yeah.
Tesla. I'm getting my own Tesla.
It's not even
They're
like
like,
big
sell my
movies like that.
Tesla.
It's whenever, and this is why I think this is the conspiracy theorist in me, but you start to see these movies that come out where home invasions happen.
Yeah.
Or people get like, what was that law-abiding citizen with Jamie Foxx
Yeah.
and what's
Gerard
his face,
Butler.
Gerard Butler? After that, gun sales soared because they show you a movie and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I need to get it
Well,
got to
the
protect my
movie The
family.
Purge came out and people thought that was going to be a thing. They're like,
Do you not think that
The Purge.
they're like,
Yeah.
Look at the
we're
difference
going to have
in
this one
sales
day.
of guns. Whenever movies like that come out, immediately gun sales go up.
All right, so
See, 'cause
people,
I
people have
think-
mushy brains. Is
That's exactly what it is.
just stupid.
It's mushy brain
mushy
syndrome.
brain.
I think people. I think a lot of people's brains just lack.
they're just-
They lack filters. Like for instance, like people.
It's hard to think
like
about
you
things after 3
go
minutes.
throughout your. Like I think all of life is just filters. Like you walk out of your house. And things are coming into your brain, and you have to treat them a certain kind of way, you know.
Yeah.
To where if someone,
Is that important?
Like if someone yells out "fuck you," like you're gonna go chase him down and hunt for this man. You brush it off. That's just a guy having a bad day.
Yeah.
Like if you go to the movies, you have to appreciate the art of the film. You don't
Yeah.
go into it thinking like, "Oh shit, I want to fucking do that." To where it's like, you have to filter it. You have to filter.
But that's
to
why
where
like military recruitment movies are like Top Gun. Like whenever movies like that
you
come
have to
out,
filter it.
Yeah.
but people don't. They just go, I
That's-
gotta serve my cut. They're weeding out the idiots that are gonna be obeying. Because that's who the military needs.
how do you
Are
strengthen
the grunts that'll
filters?
just walk into walls when you tell them to because they won't think for themselves. That's who they want.
But then, how do we fix them? How do we make people understand it's just a movie? Don't fucking
You gotta
do
let them be
this.
cannon fodder. You gotta let them just get shot at and get out of the way. You're
Aye,
one
aye,
less
aye.
person in traffic.
We got mushy brain people.
Yeah.
If you show somebody a
This
movie
is why
that
I
Evil
think-
Knievel, a bunch of kids are gonna jump off their roof.
Like, dude, that was a whole issue with like when Jackass first came out. Kids are
Yeah.
fucking killing themselves
They had to put-
trying to
yeah.
get on Jackass. To where they go, okay, listen, warning, warning,
Yeah.
do
Don't
not
fucking do this.
do this shit. Like,
Don't do this.
we did it, so you don't have to do it.
But even then, they
But
just
the
fucking
filter,
turn it
yeah,
down.
they don't understand.
I
it.
like that a lot. All of life is just filters.
It is.
It
That
is.
is so zen. That's
It's like
very-
how you absorb it,
somebody
and
needs
then
to quit that into a pillow.
Like what's what's important and what's
Exactly.
not. Like you could walk past like, a homeless guy, but he's not threatening. So you're kind of filtering him. You're like, I'm good.
yeah.
But the next guy might be a little threatening. That's another filter, you know.
Yep. It's just like a
Crossing
funnel.
the
I guess
street, you gotta.
a funnel
you gotta
is like
process.
a better example. I guess it's kind of the same thing, but like once it goes in, it's hard for it to get back out. It's shaped
Yeah.
like this, so it can't fucking get out. It easily gets in, but it can't fucking get out. Like people have these like predisposed like notions of things where you see like, oh, you can see a black man and you think this thing
Yeah.
to where your brain automatically filters it into this made up thought,
There's a
and then it just never
Yeah.
it just never gets out.
It's like a shitty game of Plinko.
It just never gets out. So if you look at this I think it's just realizing that you have filters, maybe.
Yeah.
So
Once
yeah,
you
shit,
finding
like,
out what they
realize
are
you
and
have
how to manage
filters, then you can kind of step back and look at your
Exactly.
filters,
Right.
and then you could change your
Reevaluate,
filter.
right.
But
That's it.
most people will never.
They wouldn't even admit to the fact that they do because I feel like there's a pride thing.
No,
Yeah.
I think they're just
pride
locked-
thing also.
They're
Pride
locked,
is a
no,
huge-
they're
there's a
locked
pride
into
thing
a
also.
way of thinking.
Like, a lot of people don't
Like you
want to
said,
admit
like
that
a
they're
lot
wrong.
of people will look and they'll be like, "Black man, uh-oh."
Watch out!
Yeah.
Watch out! Or a
You're
basketball player, you know, they'll
Like
just-
changing that filter is not direct. It's not easy, you know.
like because
They're
you've
they're
been
coming from like 1960s, like Midwest, you know. Like
because
how
it's
they-
like one of those things to where like you're shown it. Like if you walk out your door, or you turn on the fucking TV, and you are shown things that make you believe that like this is how it's supposed to be. But in reality, it's not until you actually you actually encounter it that you understand what it really is, you know? Like TV will show you what races are supposed to look like, you know?
yeah.
Like
It's a
Trump will say,
sensationalized-
fucking Mexicans,
Yeah.
they're the rapists and the drug
yeah,
dealers.
they said
That's not
this.
you meet an actual Mexican when you understand that you're not a rapist or a drug dealer.
Yeah,
Right.
you mean,
But,
like,
like,
hey, how's it going?
They're just
Like,
throwing things at you. They're just
Yeah.
like, believe this.
Yeah.
And then, you know, people believe it. So
Because
Yeah.
it's easy. It's just ridiculous the
so
way
your
they.
filter is skewed,
your filter is
Yeah.
skewed. Yeah.
or your filter filters for certain thing. Like until you really step back and you look at your filters.
I feel like you're thrown so much of the same thing that it's bound to
Yeah.
fucking make it in. it's bound to make it in.
Or that's like confirmation bias, where you think it's gonna be a thing, and then you just
Like if you only watch,
yeah, he's aggressive.
if you only watch CNN,
interpret it to be
or
whatever you want
yeah.
it to
if
be.
you only watch Fox News, you only watch one network, you're being fed the same fucking thing. It's bound to just get in. It's gonna get in and just bury itself into your fucking brain.
Yeah, they'll tell you that minorities are the worst.
Exactly. It'll bury itself
and
in
then
you.
you'll sweat at 3 a.m. like minorities are crawling, they're crawling on my pension. They're taking my social security.
It's made it past the
He's like,
filter.
yeah. Kathleen, I gotta get up.
His wife rolls over the covers. They're stealing the covers too.
They got my social security right now. They're coming for it.
They're buying gas and churros with it.
Oh my god.
It's such a fucking.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's a big reason also.
Gas and churros.
Gas and churros.
Is that a band?
Is that a real stereotype? Gas and
I
churros.
really want there to be a
Goddamn
Mexican band
gas
called
and churro
Stealing them
bars.
gas and churros.
Gasolina y churro. And I want them to rock out a very saucy Mexican version of American rock songs.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Gasolina and churro. Yeah! I think that would be amazing.
But
But yeah, these guys like these
They
guys,
jump right back
these
into
guys
it.
like my dad wake up sweating in the night like they're coming across the border.
But then I
And
know
they're like,
I can
no,
hear
they're
'em.
not. They're fucking people. They come here on work visas. They just don't go home.
They rode the bus here.
Yeah,
Dad,
no,
relax.
they come in on work. Like nobody really hops to the border. That's a fallacy. I don't know how we.
They
got-
dig underneath it.
Yeah,
none of us under. They all go on. None of us over. They all go on.
They all go around it.
ground burrowing. No, anybody can get a work visa to go to any country. They just don't go home. They're like, all right, it's cool here.
I also feel like there's that walls in the past have been proven to not work. China built a wall the size of the United States of America. Literally, it's that wide or
And now
that
people
long,
just take selfies
and
on
it doesn't fucking work. We made airplanes. We flew around.
They made a terrible Matt Damon movie out of it.
Yeah, I should come like that movie.
Cool idea. I didn't see it, but
I didn't either.
Cool idea. But a wall is so fucking like.
It's just so. It's just been proven to not work.
What century are we in? You don't need wall. You know, people walk, drive, take boats, they fly.
What's
There's
funny?
every means to get around
someone-
and over, and they don't even want to make it the whole thing. They just want parts of it. Some of it will be a fence.
Somebody back in China in the
my
year
God.
whatever made the same exact proposition.
Like the Manchurians were invading.
We
Whatever.
gotta keep out these goddamn Mongolians.
Wall. And I swear to
We
God,
have
he
to
looked
build a
like
wall. Do it. This length of America.
He was like,
That's America.
we'll get to that later.
And here we are, a million years later.
Yeah.
Build it. The length of Mexico. And it's like, damn, yo, what's
That's Mexico.
What's that? It's where tacos come from, you idiot.
That's where tacos are born.
It's where Taco Bell was invented, you idiot.
You know the Yo Quiero Taco Bell dog?
Yeah, you know
That's
that
there.
little Chihuahua?
He shit it one day, and that's Mexico.
It's his homeland.
Oh God! Please stop! Please stop! This is sounding terrible.
We need to move on to other things in our heads.
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell?
Such a strange
You want some
mascot.
Taco Bell? 'Cause
Had a
I'll-
strange mascot. A little Chihuahua dog.
Well, didn't the guy who did the voice die?
I think the dog died, and then
Oh my god.
Wait,
guys.
and
Get
then that's
another
why
one that looks
that's
exactly
why they
like
stopped doing
I
it.
eat Taco Bell like once a week when I'm drunk. So.
Yeah. I talk about Monday.
Oh, did you really?
I didn't.
Do you want to admit that out loud?
Time?
I had to. No.
You wait, no. There's never a situation where you have to Taco Bell. What is this?
Well, like
I had to.
well, listen.
There it was.
They put a gun to my mouth and said either
in
the
the
gun or
middle of
Taco Bell.
tundra, and there's only one source of food.
So, like I was saying before, was that how I'm not a vegetarian, but I just don't eat chicken or beef or pork or anything. And then when it comes to that time of night where you don't want to cook anything,
Yeah.
and it's like
Taco
shit, like I can't go to any other fast food
Yeah.
place. Where else would I go to get like food?
Where would you go?
I can't go anywhere. I thought I was like, where the fuck can I
You got a
go?
falafel.
I went to Taco Bell and got a potato tacos.
Ooh, that cheesy potato thingy.
Yeah. So I was like, what else could I even get? Like what?
Yeah.
I'm not going to McDonald's.
Was it at least
Yeah, what?
satisfying, or were you like, eh?
Pretty good. $4 dinner.
That was very unconvincing.
Score.
Yeah.
It's affordable.
It's a $4 dinner.
$4 dinner.
You should just hard boil some eggs at that point.
I didn't want to cook anything.
Have a
Yeah, you get to that point where you're like, I'm not doing
I was like,
that.
it's fucking 9 o'clock. I don't want to cook anything.
I've worked all day.
That's
I don't need to do
that's
this.
when you eat meat. You're like,
I can't.
Okay, so
You
here's a
can,
study
you
that
can.
there was a study that
I
said,
can,
like,
but I won't.
there was
started
some
eating
large
meat.
portion of people that identified as vegetarians that also eat meat when they're drunk, and they admit it. They're like, yeah, I'm vegan or
I've heard about
vegetarian.
that.
there needs to be a term for that, like a drunken.
Drunkatarian.
Yeah, drunkatarian.
But so okay,
That's
so the
definitely
question
me.
is your commitment that it's not that it's that strong because you're drunk, so you're not necessarily aware, but then is it that bad that you're eating it?
Yeah.
The way that I see it is that it's not a fucking like, oh, caught you! You did it! Like, you were 8 years strong, we got you that one time.
I had ground beef. I'm gonna die. You're
Exactly.
Gonna be fine. You're
I
gonna
don't.
be
I don't
fucking
think it's that
fine.
big of a deal.
No,
Like you
it's
went your whole
not.
life doing it, and then
Grow up, yeah.
Okay, you got drunk one
Yeah.
time and did it.
Yeah.
The whole world does it. Fucking.
But so why is it an issue?
I don't
then
think it's-
if it's so commonplace that it happens.
I think
and that's
because-
just the point, like why does it matter to?
Because I think some vegetarians are very like nose up, like
I'm a vegetarian.
Exactly. And I think that's why people get so pissed because it's like you fucking self-righteous asshole. I saw you eat that steak.
No, wait. There's vegans that blow down a bunch of cocaine. They're like, I wouldn't put that in my body.
Exactly.
But I'll shove that shit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Gasoline and fucking.
Some of
bullshit.
them rub it in your face, which is the most obnoxious thing.
It's just unnecessary.
It's like, oh, how dare you eat that chicken? And it's like, oh,
The
come on.
more I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and reading a lot of things about different nutritionists and their different theories on food, and they all say nobody fucking knows. Some
It's
say
a moderation
Some
of
say don't
everything.
eat meat. Some say you can't eat meat.
Yeah.
Some say low carb. Some say no sugar. There's all these different things. At the end of the day, they're like, we don't fucking know.
Well, because also
a
not,
nutritionist can tell you anything, and nobody would.
but
tell
no
you
two people are alike.
otherwise.
Everybody
Yeah.
has a different thing.
Yeah, so
But here's
it's your
so
own
there is no
body.
one diet that
Yeah,
works for
exactly.
everybody.
Exactly.
The diet part is still up for question. The environmental part is where
Yeah.
it's
Well,
really,
yeah, and
like
animal
it's really
cruelty.
fucking it up for
Animal
us.
cruelty.
Like what a lot of people don't realize, and this sounds hilarious, is that cow farts commit
the
a
methane,
lot of
yeah.
methane to the environment, and we produce a lot of cows because we eat a lot of fucking cows.
The
so it's like,
treatment of them
and
alone.
the amount of methane that cow farts and burps let out is honestly a huge impact on our environment.
About half of what my house produces is me.
I was worried about the swine flu. Now I'm worried about the cow farts.
It's like a massive impact. It's like ridiculous, you
It's
know.
the immigrants and the cow farts taking over.
Even though when it wasn't them, I knew it was them.
And then there's all kind of stats about like like how we cut down trees and forests so we can harvest to fucking feed animals so that we can feed ourselves.
They're saying Nutella's destroying the rainforest or something, but at the same time, I walk right by the grocery store and it's hard not to pick it up. It's like
I think it's just inevitable for any food producing whatever company. Like if you produce something that gets wild success and you have to produce more of it, there's going to be a cost somewhere.
Yeah. So
we
they
need to
look-
make more
they look for
packaging.
the
We need to make
cheapest
more
options.
whatever.
Yeah.
We need more plastic lids. We need more
Yeah.
boxes. Like
I think that's
going
going to change though. I think that's hopefully on the horizon for us as a generation and for younger generations. You have a product, it has some success and it grows. That doesn't mean you have to mow down the rainforest relentlessly. It doesn't mean like Nutella, I think what they get shit for is that they use palm oil.
Yeah.
If you go to where they fucking harvest palm oil, they're just mowing down big swaths of the rainforest.
yeah.
And like orangutans just in the tree, like, oh shit! And they get,
Stop!
They get ground up.
No.
They live.
So we're
Like, it's no laughing matter. It's a fucking sentient, beautiful being. Yeah, I'm laughing too. No, but like
Yeah.
to make fucking hazelnut.
of orangutan parts.
Come on, like
See, that's
That's
it.
good PSA that orangutan.
but like companies need
Nutella
to
is
grow
orangutan farts.
conscientiously and responsibly. If you're like, all right, well, we can't produce 100,000 units because we're gonna have to kill a bunch of orangutans and mow down the rainforest.
It's not
you
the
say,
American way.
guess what? I know. capitalism.
The American way is never.
Capitalism is like
no American ever said,
dollar.
"I'm just gonna stop."
Yeah. No, yeah.
No one ever said stop.
Capitalism is like pollute that river, let somebody else pay for it. Like
Humans are gonna
exhaust.
inevitably destroy this planet, and
We're a
we will
cancer.
no longer
we are
exist.
cancer on a host,
Yeah.
and until we've cut down the last tree, we won't realize it.
So what's the solution?
Nothing.
Well, that's depressing.
Slow down.
Really-
slow down the process.
Good luck.
I mean, but then use. I mean, it's just
Go down to
inevitable.
Miami and be like,
It's-
"Hey,
it's just-
slow down. Should we go?
Hey, not as many
Should we go on that
pizzas.
Slow it down."
Yeah, but I do wonder
Look at how
though.
many single serving things we have. Like little piece of like a piece of cheese comes in a plastic thing, and that
How do you-
that
how
goes
do
in a
you-
landfill forever
How do you convince people? How do you convince somebody?
until they're willing to.
Dude, the amount
see
of
it.
people that you see out on the street that just throw their trash on the ground,
Yeah.
have no regard for what's
Just
going on.
imagine this scenario. Imagine a guy in a Lamborghini having to convince him, would you want to drive this Prius? What could you possibly say to that man who bought a $200,000 car just because he could and doesn't give a shit about how much gas it uses or whatever it is
Yeah.
to drive an eco-friendly vehicle? What could you possibly do?
Dude, people are just, their minds are made up.
You can't do anything. You can't do shit.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like it's just inevitable. I mean, people are just stubborn, you know. So
Well, everything's on the decline on some level. That's just the principle of, I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's just that humans are. I guess we forget this sometimes that we're the creators of everything. Everything is us.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't be that shocking that Kylie Jenner influenced Snapchat, because Snapchat is us. like we are
Yeah,
it.
we're
You know.
addicted to it.
Yeah, like we are the reason why every company that's successful is successful because humans have made the decision to use it,
Yeah.
or we've made the decision to like consume it or whatever it is. Like Snapchat was able, the stocks fell because humans made decisions. That's why we have all like it's all legislation and things like that to like change laws. But if we just changed the way that like we shopped and consumed, we could literally move mountains
Yeah.
to where things would just be totally different. We don't have to rely on a few politicians to do things or whatever it is, or influencers to fucking tell us what to fucking do, you know? Like
Well, we have more power than we realize, but I think...
we have all the power,
But I
literally.
think the problem
yeah.
is when you get to a certain age and you start having like families and kids and stuff, then you can't start speaking up as easily because it'll affect you.
But it's not even
And
about
people
speaking
can
up.
come at you.
If
So
you
that's
just,
why kids doing it is a little bit more powerful because they have nothing to not lose. But
How would it affect you?
I think if we
at
just
an older age, how does it affect you more?
because you have more to protect, you have more to lose. There's more that you
If you were to speak up
Carry through
against
life.
gun violence as like a homeowner, I don't see how that.
like. For instance, if I was to go out and just be like a really bad pain in the ass to organizations I don't agree with, that I think are bad and negative, and I'm trying to do everything I can to bring them down. If I have no baggage,
Yeah.
fucking great, then I'm gonna bring this shit down. But if I have things that
You got
can
a
hurt
house and
me,
you're a public,
that's when it starts to
you're
fall
like
apart.
a upper level person. up
These
in-
kids aren't old enough to own houses or to have families or anything, so they're able to shoot off and speak out and really
Yeah.
speak their mind.
I've never seen a generation respond to anything like this before.
No, not in this
no,
level.
it's honestly like, but you kind of have to wonder, like, it's admirable, but is anything going to come out of this?
We'll
If
see.
things don't change, there will inevitably be another school shooting, and at that point, shit's gonna hit the fan.
There's been so many already.
There will be another one.
That's the whole thing, is that
Well, then that's
which
a broken.
is the
that's
one
a
that
broken,
breaks the camel's back.
I think this one is.
This one's
If there-
different because
if
again
there's
they're
another
focusing
one-
on the victims. They're not focusing
Yeah.
on the killer, and that's the biggest.
Yeah, I think whenever a school shooting like this happens, the shooter should get almost no attention. Don't. Who was he? What was it like? There's kids that look at that and they're like, "I'm a nobody. I got nothing. I can be the star of the news cycle for a couple days."
Yeah.
Those people shouldn't get any credit. All the victims, all the families, all the, the mourning and like the progression of helping to make things better. I honestly think things are going to change with this one. It feels like it. It has all the momentum of something that actually can change.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't imagine politicians not making changes. Like how do you watch a nation mourn and say enough is enough and not do anything? How callous do you have to be to just to just be like, nope, we're not hearing any gun legislation?
But then I feel like they're making the legislation has to be passed for us. I think we're going in this big circle that we don't have to go to. We can get right to the end by fixing ourselves. Like, is it more effective to go speak to one man who's being paid $3 million to just say yes to guns? Yeah. Or go to the reason, or go to the ones that are actually buying the actual guns. Like, is it more effective to speak to a gun owners or to speak to a representative who's being paid? Just
it has to be a combined effort.
That's a good point.
Would it be better to go to a gun show and convince them as to why you don't need this? Like, the only reason why we're trying to ban guns that's people don't fucking buy them. Yeah. You can skip that whole process and just go speak to people and then convince them to not buy them. And then if no one's buying them, then the people are better.
Yeah, I guess the idea is to bring in everybody to collectively say like, all right, we're gonna work on the mental health aspect. We're gonna work on secure schools. We're gonna work on gun sales and background checks. It's a comprehensive thing.
No one's speaking about convincing
we don't need Marco Rubio to make schools safe. Broward Sheriff's Office could get together with faculty members from across the county. They could help. Like, there's plenty of veterans that have come back from Iraq and Afghanistan. They would like to maybe be paid, maybe volunteer. There's parents that would like to be volunteers. There's a lot of ways to help people with, somebody who looks like a troubled kid or somebody with mental anguish and anger. Help bring them into a program. Take them camping. Take them, give them a sense of community, a role.
I feel like there's a lot of ways. All of these things
progressively, and we don't need fucking Marco Rubio. And I don't want to just hound on him, but we don't need a state congressman, state senator to make change. The change can actually happen right there. With a school can hire volunteers, families can go and be more involved.
Just we dictate everything. They make laws for us.
Yeah.
If we came together and said, listen, we're not gonna do this anymore, the laws don't matter. So it's okay, well, for instance, DUIs wouldn't matter if no one drank. If we're just you know what, we're just gonna together say we're done drinking, DUIs are no longer relevant. Gun laws don't matter because we don't care anymore about fucking guns. We only make guns because we've decided among ourselves to we want these fucking things, So I feel like if there's some sort of way where we can convince people, not politicians, to no longer have interest in these guns and get the root of why you want these guns, then
how do you get to the point I think it's more important to convince the gun owners than to convince the politicians. Because the politicians are going to come after your guns and people are going to go, not my guns.
Right, and if you take their interest, way to go about it. If you take their interest away from their guns, the laws don't matter because they don't want it.
Right.
They don't want it. It's just for instance, people don't want fucking Nokia brick phones. Why? Because I convinced you how awesome a fucking iPhone is. I've convinced you how awesome it is. You no longer want that. If we can convince you to where you don't want a gun anymore, no one's gonna fucking want it. That's it. It's not cool anymore, It's
there's
some things are no longer cool.
Definitely something to be said about changing the perception locally. We always do this as a country. I think to a fault. We look to the federal government. We look to our governor. We look to our state senators for change. Fucking make the change yourself.
Exactly. That's what's happening.
Start a group. Bring a community together. Be outspoken.
The thing is,
I feel like everyone's putting blame on the politicians.
Broward County could be the first gun responsible county where mental health is factored in, guns are registered, people can turn in high powered assault rifles so they don't need a county can do it, a city can do it, a neighborhood can do it. Stop looking to them because we know
But look at the
We know
difference
what
between
they're gonna
the
go to the
difference between the
dollar.
last president and this president, and you'll see that this is why people get so. This is why people act the way
Like
they
physically,
do. The last president was
like a slender black man versus
the last
a
president was
hard-boiled Eggman.
when horrible things happened and he had to be the president when Sandy Hook happened. There was a level of
Integrity.
as horrible as that was. We had a leader to walk us through it. You know what I'm saying? We had someone to say, you know what, this is horrible, but I'm here. It's all right. And so there was a comfort. So it didn't really enact a lot of laws as a result because we felt somewhat comforted with this person.
Right.
With this president, we're on our fucking own.
Look,
This is every man. Hold on, this is every man for himself territory. So the only way that we can kind of all reconcile with what's happening is we go, then we need to do this. Because if they're not going to lead, we're going to have
do
to
it ourselves.
And we never had to do this before because the last leader was a leader.
I think
And
that's a metaphor
that's
for
the difference.
everything. Like, we have to stop looking to Washington. We have to stop looking to our
Right.
state capital.
Look to
Start
ourselves
a group.
and figure it out.
Get together with people. Say,
Yeah.
enough is enough. All these students are doing that. They're saying enough is enough.
Right.
These kids are going to school, and they're saying, I don't know if I'll go home at the end of the day, because some maladjusted young person, it's always a kid, a guy, might shoot us up, and there's zero protections. There's zero protections for people to buy these guns, to accumulate a lot of ammo. Zero protections. Like, that's fucked up.
If you think
Yeah.
about it,
It starts at a community level, it goes to a county level, a state level.
it's starting at
a
the only
federal
level that
level.
it possibly could without getting its legs taken out from underneath them, and their kids.
Yeah.
You can't throw them in prison for speaking their mind after going through a shooting. They were shot at. So they right now can speak to whoever they want, however they want, and they are.
Yeah. And it's getting a lot of
There's no
coverage.
consequences for them. Not in terms of like long term, because there could be, obviously positive or negative consequences later down the line. But right now, they don't have to worry about their like I said, their
Do you
families.
feel like it's,
They're kind of able
it's
to.
students across America versus the NRA, and we're gonna have to pick a camp?
No, I don't think it's one versus the other. I think it's people standing up and saying we need to be listened to.
But here's the thing: the NRA is gonna counter anything that students.
But that's
are
what the
saying.
NRA is going to do because it's their job. So
I
it's
feel
about the
that-
rest of us to realize that the NRA is unnecessary.
I feel like I agree that the NRA is the NRA is
National Rifle
unnecessary.
Institution. We branched off from the NRA. We're not them. We're
We're not like
separate.
them. We're
We have a whole
smarter.
other agenda. We're against the AR-15.
We're an
Every other
institute.
gun is cool. We're an institution.
We're smarter than them.
It's
We shoot
gun backwards.
coyote
It's
and
nugs.
boar.
They want nugs.
But I
It's a
just
weed thing.
Oh.
There's a marketing thing right there. Sorry.
There somewhere out there is an NRA that's not a National Rifle Institution Association. They're like the National.
Reefer Association.
Yeah. They're sounding so like mundane.
So wait, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I forgot what I was going to say. That yeah, I feel like people are so quick to like go to the fucking politics. It's your fault, and it's like people we're relying on we're relying on this small collection of people to make decisions for us. Because apparently we can't fucking control ourselves.
Yeah.
To where it's like, listen, you have to make a rule for us so we know how to control
Hey
ourselves.
guys, can you like?
And it's like, I feel like there's something that people aren't talking about is compassion. To where it's like
Yeah,
this
I
kid,
agree.
like how many people were in contact with this kid, and how many of them just like walked away? How many of them were just like, oh fuck him,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh you just some crazy kid. No one actually sat down and took an interest in him.
And
No one
listen
is,
to them,
yeah. Like how many kids do you see that you can actually talk to them
Yeah.
and like change their life? Or sit down and like whatever, be this motivational person to this kid, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Cops were
like
called almost 40 times to his house.
this kid, both of his parents died.
But that raises an interesting
No,
question.
he was in
Even
foster
though
care.
we,
Because-
and then his foster
his parents-
died.
but even
Yeah, there
though
you
we
go.
know all these
Yeah.
things and the
That's
cops
a
were called to
broken
his house,
human.
That's what I'm saying.
what were they gonna do? He hadn't. I mean, I'm not defending it, but I'm saying you can't go in and arrest somebody for.
He went to.
I'm not saying arrest
He went
them.
to a school before Marjorie Stoneman Douglas that was meant for people that have like emotional anguish and like they're maladjusted socially. Like, there's a number of reasons you might
Yeah.
end up at this school. But he hit 18 and he technically is an adult by the state. And even though he's very much not an adult, at 18 they're like, all right, you can stay at the school or you can go do whatever you want.
Yeah.
They can't hold him against his will. They can't Baker Act him. And he said, I want to go to a normal high school and I want to finish my education. He was doing good at this school, a special treatment school for people like him. He went to Douglas and he probably got bullied. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's not in the media, but
well, it is. It is in
I'm
the
from
media.
Parkland. It's a very affluent community.
It is definitely in the media.
They definitely looked at this kid as like an outsider. He was definitely weird.
Did you know him? You live in the area.
Yeah, me and him would hang out all the time.
No, I mean, like,
Don't
did
say
you
that.
know?
Did I know him?
FBI be knocking on
saying,
the
like,
fucking
Yeah,
door.
we'd go fishing.
I'm not saying like was he your buddy. I just
No.
mean like have you
Heard of him or something, I guess.
No, he worked at the dollar store by my parents' house, and someone I know that's a good family friend had a conversation with him, and he was very eager to talk about guns. He was working at the dollar store, and he claimed he was a security guard.
the dollar
He
store?
goes, "Yeah, I'm a security guard." It's like you're at the dollar store checking out.
You're ringing up my items.
Yeah.
That'd be $21
I'm a buy list. That's $11. Yeah.
But by the way,
But he
the
immediately-
dollar store. I don't mean to interrupt too much, but like, I don't go there very often.
I got a bone to pick
I don't-
with the
I
dollar
don't wanna make
store.
a-
No, he's got a
I don't want to make it sound like I'm some fucking uppity whatever, but like I walked in a dollar store and I couldn't believe it was all $1 for all this shit.
Dude.
I was like, what? This is $1? No.
I've gone into
can't
a dollar
be.
store and never spent $1 because it all is
It's a dollar.
just
There's
It's all $1.
napkins and shit.
I couldn't believe it's all $1 though. I've been spending
All right,
$3 on
I don't
sponges.
need a red plate though. I don't need fucking.
red.
Yeah, man. It's like a,
One red
it's
plate.
just like
But I feel like there's certain shit that I use where I was like, this shouldn't cost more than $1.
this is outrage.
Sir, this should be at least $7.
$1.
You're charging me way too less.
How is this possible?
Anyway, so the
Sorry,
shooters
finish.
worked at the
Finish.
dollar store.
Yes.
That sounds like the end of a
No,
bad
but
joke.
we could talk about the dollar store all day. But yeah.
Can we?
This shooter kid.
I feel like that could last another 20
He talked
minutes.
to a
tops.
family friend and immediately was like, "How do I pass a background check?" Blah blah blah. Whatever. This kid had numerous instances where he could have gotten held, detained,
Yeah.
investigated, whatever.
Yeah.
But still, the idea that something can happen in a neighborhood, and we go, Trump, help us. That's the fucking dumbest thing. Is to go to like the
It's
federal
not even help.
level.
It's just passing the blame on
Top
politicians.
down is so slow. Like handle your own community.
Isn't that there's just isn't that
The
there's
president's
yeah.
job
Why
is
can't
supposed-
Parkland pass its own gun legislation? And in Parkland,
It's
if you're
not
a
about-
homeowner,
but then
you have to
the-
register all your weapons, and we're
Yeah, but then
we're our own
that
city.
well that would be easy, but then
cities can treat
that's also
themselves.
very it's also very selfish.
Cities can manage themselves. States can manage themselves.
It's just a very
What if
selfish
Broward
thing.
County alone?
But there needs to be a federal level in terms of two ways. Having someone that can guide you and be the lead. The president's also supposed to be the leader.
what about
The one
state
that
level?
through everything we're supposed to be like, you know what? At least he's got
What
it.
about state level?
He's got it
Colorado,
together.
as a state, said weed is cool. Federal government doesn't respect it.
Right, but
That's, an
different
instance.
between.
That's an instance of a state.
Those are two very different.
I don't-
ways.
that-
People
that-
are dying.
that's-
Yeah,
that's an
weed's not
instant-
killing anybody.
That's an instance of a state saying, "Fuck you. We don't need you. We're gonna do this."
But then the thing
And a
is that
state
it's
can
just
do it. If a state can do it, a county can do it.
So, but
County
okay,
can
so
do it,
what are
city
your
can do
what
it.
are your like?
guns are just a much bigger fucking beast.
I think honestly,
Versus
don't
weed.
be like federal government help us. No. Honestly, the mayor of Parkland should put things forward.
But the federal government does need to do an
Yes,
a
no, they have
federal-wide
their role.
ban on
They have
certain
their
things,
role.
right?
They absolutely have their role. But to expect them to do top-down legislation,
That's how it
you know what
starts.
we need? If we're going to figure out how you control guns, you have to experiment with it.
Do you?
I feel like
We did though.
Like
We did.
Park-
We did a weapons
Parkland-
ban.
I'm just using Florida as an example. Parkland, or maybe in Broward County as a whole, should maybe adopt the gun legislation that like Canada or Australia has, and see how that goes.
see. I feel like we're good.
No. I was just saying we did that before, and then they stopped doing it, and killing went up 200%, and we all just went.
When
Well, hopefully they won't kill elementary
we
school
had
kids
gun legislation, and then it went up 200%.
after it ended.
Well, I feel like it's like we're putting all of the blame into one place. Like it's yes, the guns are a huge issue, and it's what was used to commit this crime. But no one's gets to the root of like what would mentally drive someone to fucking commit this crime. And I'm not saying that like if he's crazy, just let him be crazy and don't let him get guns. No one's saying how do we fix crazy? No one like people are saying how do we stop them from doing normal things? And it's like no, we need to.
But now you're defining crazy and normal, and those are normal is an undefinable term.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that like we.
There are certain behaviors that can be.
Right, but when you say things like
animals,
crazy and normal, you imply certain connotations that kind of go down a darker path.
you would never.
I think
make it
when I
so
say
black
crazy
white,
and normal in this context, I mean to where you have the ability to injure or hurt many people because of your own actions, you know?
But
so
then
like,
again, you said it earlier when we were talking. You said it. What about when, this is us today and everything's fine, but tomorrow you go home and your girl's cheating.
Exactly.
On you,
Which is
and all these things pile on top. Your normalcy all of a sudden disappears.
You can easily become
your
crazy. You can easily become a crazy person.
Yeah, you're a
to where
person.
that's why none of these laws fucking matter because anyone can just flip the switch and go postal like they say, you fucking go shoot up your office or murder your family. You hear about it all the time. This guy murdered his family, clean record,
we're
fucking
back at square one where
whatever it is.
Nothing.
You know what I mean?
Going to change anything.
Well, I'm saying that laws won't change anything, but like I feel like
they will too.
For instance, like after the same day when this massacre happened, I'm not putting the blame on these kids at all.
Yeah.
But like they said, you know what? If it was one kid, it was fucking him. I knew it was going to be him.
Yeah.
And just from people thinking that shows you how they probably treated them.
Dude,
because listen, if someone was shoot our old school up, it would probably be him. People said that.
Yeah, for sure.
And
they bullied him, but
then
that
it's just
doesn't
like
excuse.
It doesn't make an excuse
He was broken to
for
begin
him.
with.
But like
there was
it's
a whole problem.
it's one of those things where you corner a fucking dog, to where it's like you isolate him and you treat him like shit long enough.
Yeah.
He's bound to fucking snap.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like if I think an effective way we can do it without having to beg politicians because they don't care. They're getting paid. They don't fucking give a shit.
Yeah.
They're getting paid millions. They don't care about you. They care about their money and that's it. Like what we can do, and it's something that they can't stop us from actually doing, is helping these people, If you see a kid who you believe might shoot your school up, maybe you should go talk to him and try to be his friend
you're right.
or get him help. Or people just kind of look over him, You kind of glance him over. Oh, I don't want to be seen with him. I don't think he's cool enough to hang out with or whatever it is. Like if people sat down and talked to him, or like you treat this person nicely, maybe they won't rebel and feel, like this is what you have to do.
Exactly like what you said.
To be noticed, that's the whole thing. He wants to be noticed.
A little bit of compassion goes a long way.
Right, exactly. And you see it. You see it in, honestly, you see it in like a lot of minorities. Like you're held down for so long until you fucking rebel. And that's why there's so much violence in the minority community, is that like you're held down and beat down for so long, it's like we're gonna fucking crack.
That kid went back to Douglas for a reason.
Right.
It was because he was a maladjusted,
you want attention because you didn't get
emotionally
attention.
unstable person, and he definitely walked into a school. I don't know if you saw the kids. Like, it appears to me that every kid is like good looking and very like eloquent and like well off. He walked into that school and I don't know how much time he spent there, but he was definitely an outcast. He was ostracized. He was definitely bullied, and they definitely talked a lot of shit to him. He wasn't in any circle. He had no friends, nothing. And he just severed, and he came back with vengeance. Like,
don't ignore that kid who you believe is troubled. You can't just ignore
kids are
him.
harsh. Kids are brutal.
Yes.
Man. Go hang out with a bunch of like 12-year-olds. They'll be like, "You got a stupid haircut, friend."
Yeah.
Like, they'll look at you in your face. They're like, "Your eyes are crooked." They're like, "What, man? Leave me alone." You're 12.
I smelled that.
Yeah.
You farted.
Yeah, they're like.
I think it's just fixing.
Like, your hair is red. That's gross. It's like, well,
we just need to
12,
fix ourselves. We need to fix our
compassion, man. Compassion.
ourselves.
just everyday
ourselves.
compassion, man. Schools are brutal.
Yeah.
Schools are a breeding ground of just brutality.
I don't think they're like that. I don't think they're as bad anymore.
Well, you have to
You
think
didn't
of.
go to school here in South
Well,
Florida.
I feel like you have
You
to.
went to
you
a
have to think
private
of.
school.
I went to a lot of schools. Kids are kids, man.
You didn't go to the Pennsylvania schools that I went to.
You're
I
right.
feel like you just have to think of
The
like
Dutch barn raising.
like what are
Barn raisers were a bitch.
The barn don't raise itself. Cornbread's ready.
Oh, we
What
got the
are-
cornbread.
Oh, it's hot, too hot, too hot.
Yeah, I remember it burned me tongue.
Roll
I don't know,
that
I'm
hay
Irish.
down the hill. That's how you make it good. No, but kids, I think we can
kids
all
are
agree,
kids are
brutal,
fucking
man.
evil.
And if they sense,
Kids are evil.
No,
Kids
no,
are
man.
evil.
dude, if kids sense weakness, especially in somebody like that kid in high school,
It's a
and
young mob
he's an
mentality.
outsider.
Yes, it is the mom
He
mentality.
didn't have a family. He ended up in foster care.
Or click or
His
whatever.
foster
Yeah.
dad died. His foster mom died. He got
His
Right.
foster fish died.
his foster trapper keeper.
Foster trapper keeper.
We went down the rabbit hole on that one. No, but like honestly, I can't imagine
Yeah.
the shit that was piled onto that kid's life.
No way.
It's hard to imagine. It's
It
really
sucks.
That's why his lawyer said this is a broken person. I'm not saying be sympathetic to him.
No.
I'm not saying it justifies obviously anything he's ever done. But man, there were so many opportunities to help get this kid adjusted to life, you know? And families tried. That's how he ended up at Stoneman Douglas. A family in Parkland.
Try to fix them.
Tried to be
See, that's somebody who reached out
That-
and
and that-
adopted a child.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like we can fix this
And
situation.
they knew he had a gun. She locked
But
it
the
up.
thing is that
He
it
had a
stopped
key.
right there. After this family tried to help him, no one else tried. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like we're fucking sympathizers of this kid.
Yeah, no.
He's a goddamn murderer. He should be murdered for being a murderer. But, you know, just in general situations where there is violence.
No, I think it's preventable. Like, he shouldn't get to the murderous point.
Right.
I think if you go back, there were so many instances where some compassion, some level of steering him on the right course.
And then there
He
is.
wouldn't be obsessed with violence. He wouldn't be
Right.
obsessed with. He should have never gone to Douglas. He was in a special school before that. He was doing good. He should have never gone to Douglas. He went there. He got bullied, and then he went back. And he,
Then there is this whole argument
attacked.
that people make that like it's the video games and the movies like
Bullshit.
the one part that about it that makes me wonder is that like have we created a sense of normalcy to where we, for instance, like this shooting happened, and now this Friday, this new Bruce Willis movie called Death Note is coming out,
Yeah.
where he gets revenge on people brought into the
It's
hospital.
just poor timing.
People go into the hospital who are like rapists or whatever. He goes and kills the fucking people that did this to them. You know. So
That movie-
have we created a sense of normalcy around violence?
No, I
we
think-
are. We are. I never.
But now that movie's not going to
Yeah.
do well because it's at the point where it's not in. We're not in that mode anymore. Your movies are now shifting to a lot more female action roles
Right.
and a lot more. There's a lot more emphasis on women and the heroics that they've done. It should have been there all along, but people stopped paying attention. But now it's popular, and so now anti-gun things are going to start to become popular.
But-
Already,
Do you think that the violence in the movies has had any influence on our culture? Like to where we see it everywhere. It's hard to watch a show
You can't
on
make
anything.
the argument that it's not, because when you normalize it, when like you can watch on any TV
no,
show.
because people are people.
Wait,
and
hang on.
it-
When you can watch any TV show and when you can watch any movie and it's all gun violence,
Yeah.
that's a normalization of that. You
That's a
can't-
normalization of gun violence,
we
but
done
that
it to
doesn't create
ourselves?
the violence. That doesn't create the violence.
It's
My
the,
niece-
it's
my
the
niece
person.
can sit-
It's the person that does commit.
Yes,
the,
ultimately.
It's
but
not
crime.
even just
But
that.
when,
But I don't
when
think
my
there's-
niece is like 11 years old and she's sitting in the kitchen doing her homework and on the TV my dad's watching Walking Dead, That's a fucking violent thing that's just
Yes,
there.
but it's also a fake thing on television that's not real.
And that gets back to the whole filters thing.
But
to
that's
where,
Right, exactly. Yes.
But then here's the thing. Here's the whole thing though. If you are intelligent enough to understand that people have filters, but you make it anyway, does that make it wrong?
No, because there are people that are telling a story.
But
and
then,
there are people that don't understand that it's a story.
But if you, I'm saying that if you realize that they don't see it as just a story, but you make it anyway. Like if you as a person realize that, damn, people are taking my shit very seriously, but I'm gonna continue to make it anyway.
I think it's just a normalization. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Doesn't make it right.
Doesn't mean you're gonna do it, but
you can't help.
You just got an injection of some fucking.
So here's
violence.
the thing. So we're gonna limit ourselves and we're gonna silence ourselves because other people can't handle it. I don't think that's the answer.
No, we're not. No, we're not. We're just saying there's a collective effect of watching that over time.
But that's the
but
same.
It depends on the person, though. Because I've seen a million violent movies, and I've never ever once. I mean, I hate people in traffic.
No, but there's
a difference.
But you physically couldn't, or mentally couldn't make the argument that didn't have some effect on you.
Everything has an effect on everybody, but it's how far you take it. And if you're already at that point where you're going to,
I'm not saying you're going to act out. I'm just saying.
No, I know. I'm just saying, but I think everybody.
You're consuming. If you watch all the World War II movies, and then you watch,
I think Brandon's right in this. I think it is about the filters. I think, but then there are certain. It's a matter of what you also prioritize. Like I used to be so ingrained in movies that it was like I need to be every part of this.
Bring out beers.
Yeah, no.
We have a whole bottle of wine here.
All right, beers.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
But there's so much focus on. Is it the movies or the video games? It's a matter of what you prioritize. Like for me, I used to really get immersed in movies.
Yeah.
But now I just it's just a secondary thing. I have a point here. I guess if you get so immersed in it and you don't take it seriously or you understand that it's not a real thing, it's just people playing pretend.
But I feel like that's us. That's us. Like we are smart enough.
It's like the Snapchat thing.
We're smart enough to not be influenced. We make our own decision. You do what the fuck you want to do.
Right.
That's how we see it.
Yeah.
But with the whole Snapchat thing, to where like Kylie Jenner can say fucking 30 words and $1.2 billion is fucking removed from a company because people are influenced that easily.
I see what you're saying. I mean, that's really what it boils down to.
But then it's like when you can. If you realize the power, are you wrong for taking advantage of it?
Kinda, yeah.
Kinda.
Because you're using it for your own selfish gain.
Yep,
you're using other people's gullibility or whatever word you want to use. You're using other people. You're profiting off of their pain or attention or what they're giving you something, and you're not giving them really anything in return.
And I think that's when it comes down to like sacrifice.
Yeah.
And then there's two sacrifices here that people don't want to give up. From the point that I was just making to where people either have to sacrifice, like, oh, you wanted to sacrifice violent movies to where people will no longer be normalizing violence.
Yeah. And
then people with guns, it's like, are you willing to sacrifice hunting and sports shooting to no longer have school shootings?
Yeah.
And that's asking a lot out of people, and like. We love our movies. We fucking love movies. Like, what if they made no more movies with guns in them at all? You'd probably lose about 80% of all film.
Yeah.
You would lose so many movies.
Well, there's a lot of stories that are great that need to be told that involve guns. Like, which is unfortunately how it goes.
It's a part of our history that, like, we like to talk about. And, for some reason, we like to, I don't know, like, it's entertaining to us for some reason.
Yeah.
Like people, and then it's just funny because we, Disney, Disney. I feel like Disney realizes what violence is, and they're trying to not make their movies appear violent.
Yeah.
That's why I always imagine this. Imagine Star Wars with bullets and swords. blood and guts everywhere.
It would never fly.
Laser beams, pew, and you fall down.
Yeah.
Bullets and swords instead of lightsabers and fucking
It's a whole
lasers.
other game, yeah.
You're talking about extreme violence.
Lord of the Rings.
But that's what I'm
guns.
saying. But see, Star Wars is Disney realizing that they have an influence.
Yeah.
That's when they realize, like, oh shit, oh shit, we have children coming to our theme parks. We have children that watch our movies. We need to make this not appear too violent. So let's replace swords with fucking like colorful beams and bullets with.
at what point
also
does it-
You're
colorful
saying
beams.
just the right amount of violence. Because like if
No,
anybody
what I'm saying is that Disney figured it out to where they understand
Well, they're the ultimate-
influence that it is.
They're the ultimate family machine. They know exactly how family
They
wants
get
to
it.
feel.
They understand how that
Disney,
works.
we're raping your mind with fakeness. Like, it's just playing this bullshit of
And then here's
everything's happening. There's no, it's all comfort and safety.
tear
There's
Disney
no,
apart right now, Pete.
I'm not-
I swear you.
that's not the goal. No, that's not the
So-
goal.
You're salivating. You want
No,
some
no.
Disney in your teeth.
No, I
Take a
don't.
bite out of Disney. Goddamn.
if
Mickey
violent
Mouse piece of shit.
if violent movies have such an influence on, if this theory is correct, that
Yeah.
that it has an influence on humans to where we become violent people. If somebody were to make a movie reenacting this shooting, would that have an influence on people that makes them change their mind? They were like, oh shit, this is really sad.
So,
like,
the,
if
the biggest proponent of that is the book The Jungle. That was about immigrants coming over from Ireland, I think, and they worked in a meatpacking plant, which had zero regulations, and it was just people falling in, and the
Human
meat that you were
exploitation.
getting. No, literally meat. Like the meat that you would get in the shelf would
Could
be
be
so.
an Irishman.
It could be people. It was there was no regulation.
Like a shoe.
That book came out because that was really happening.
Yeah.
And when that book came out, the president read it, and it changed the way that we can eat clean meat because of that book.
There you go. See, it's like influence.
So what I'm saying, right?
So wait, so when I
Dude,
go buy
how
some
many times
turkey,
have you seen
there's
that?
Irish men in
You
there?
better thank
Because
Upton
of
Sinclair, The Jungle, for that shit.
Dude, how many
Next time
times have
I'm
you
at
heard?
Publix, I'd be like, Upton Sinclair. Yeah. Chicken wings.
But
Upton Sinclair.
that's that's the perfect example though, because how many times have you heard people say, "I watched What the Health and it totally made
Yeah.
me a vegan," and it's like,
Yeah,
But there's a
it
difference
fucking
between
influenced
some
you.
I
fucking
only eat
shill on
Oreos
television
now
and
'cause
somebody
I'm
who is
vegan.
writing something that is like, look, there's a real legitimate
No, but
problem.
there is something to be said. You were talking
Well,
about.
yeah, I think it's influence on both sides of it.
For sure, yeah.
Like just because they're not saying go buy guns, but they're showing you violence, it could still have an impact
No,
on you.
Look, I think there is something to be said that turn on any show, you're gonna see some violence.
Of course.
Like, my brother has an 11-year-old daughter. He has to be so particular about what she watches because you really don't want to normalize that into a kid. When you have a kid and you raise them, they're, call it pure or naive or whatever. You don't want them sitting there watching CSI with you, you know?
Turns out the stripper was
Yeah.
raped and beaten with a tire iron.
Yeah.
What the like?
And it's like, and she's like, "Wait, what's a stripper? What's a tire iron? And what's
Right.
raped and beaten?" And you're like, "Oh."
And you're like,
God.
well, it's time for bed, and I'm a terrible parent.
Exactly.
So there is so while I
Goddamn
don't,
CSI.
While I don't think like
Yeah.
I don't think like games. Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
David
The intro. Yeah!
Daddy, what's this mean? It means we're never watching this show again.
Yeah!
So while I don't think a kid seeing those things is all that bad, normalizing it is bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just for us to all like normalize.
So here's
But wait,
the theory.
here's another thing too, real quick. Nature is very violent. Turn on
Nature's not really violent.
turn
It's just
on
nature.
Planet Earth or like
It's
The only reason why they're
Things
violent and we're
eat-
not is
True.
because we have forks and knives and an oven, and they
if
don't.
we were in a natural setting, if we had to hunt and kill and fish,
it
forage,
isn't violent.
Nature
though.
is very violent.
It isn't.
So for us,
It's not violent because it's called survival. It's different when you do it because you gotta fucking live.
But that's still
if you
where
if you
we're
do
from.
it because you're mentally broken it's totally different.
Yeah, violence is the shooting. This is nature.
That's a whole nother thing.
He wasn't doing it
to survive.
But violence is inherent with survival and nature.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Because you have to
We've
survive.
built a lot of little niceties. You know, we got a nice little.
We've gotten out of the food chain.
We got our workplace and our sleep place, and we got our car place, and we got our
Yeah.
videos and charge our.
And I need to be alone now.
and
My feelings are hurt.
Yeah, and I can vlog it. You know.
We're sitting here podcasting.
But at the end of the day, nature is very violent. It always has been. Way before we got into all of this, things ate things like survival of the fittest and preying on.
Of course. But only for that. Well,
very violent.
not always only, but
People that live off the land know this. Yeah. We're removed from that. There's still that thing in us.
Yeah, of course.
And
We're always going to have that
really,
primal instinct.
It really
but
strikes a chord in some people that don't know how to interpret it. This school shooter is one of those people that just didn't socialize, didn't figure it out, didn't get the help, and
yeah.
But you know what's so stupid is a lot of the people on television will say, well, this isn't about guns, it's about mental health. And they'll say, it's not about mental health, it's about guns. Why can't it be about mental health and be about guns?
Yeah.
Yes.
It can
Also,
be
think
both.
about
Why
this.
can't it be both?
Every country has mental health issues. When's the last time you heard of any other country having a mass shooting? Name another country that has had a mass shooting.
Well, France.
That's a terrorist attack.
That's
Well, wait,
well,
what's
what
the
do you
difference?
classify terrorist?
Because you know what? This kid was technically a terrorist.
Yeah, technically.
The Sandy Hook shooter was a terrorist.
Okay, I guess you can't say claiming.
Alright,
You know what a
claiming
terrorist is? A
allegiance
terrorist
to a
is somebody
group.
that
Alright.
inflicts terror.
Wait,
Somebody who
It doesn't
didn't-
matter
wait.
what color, creed, or country they're from. If they inflict terror, you're a
let me
terrorist.
step back
Yes,
on that.
agree.
Mental health issues are across the board. I don't care if you're in
Hey, you know what?
Iceland.
Subscribing to the religion that makes you kill other people is mental health. That's a mental health issue. We need to be
Yes,
monitoring the mental health of this bullshit. This is why religion's dangerous, but that's a different
Yep.
topic for another time.
Mental health issues are across the board. America has a gun issue.
I'm thinking both.
That's
People with
a
mental health
bumper
prob-
sticker is what that is. It's not that America has a gun issue. It's America
We
has
have both.
a lot of
I'm
issues.
not saying and they all have to kind of converge. And we
you
have to
can't
kind
just
of-
you can't ignore either one of them.
No, but look around the world.
Yeah.
Mental health issues are definitely everywhere. Nobody has gun issues like we do.
No, because
But mental
we
health
have too many
issues
guns.
aren't as rampant because a lot of things that we claim are mental health issues aren't. A lot of them are related to diet. A lot of them are related to the stimulus that we give ourselves. A lot of it are the medications that we claim we need to take, but we don't.
These are the areas that we need to attack and.
So what I'm saying
figure
is,
out.
it's not that our mental health is rampant. We've invented a lot of. There is legitimate, true, and devastating mental health in this country, but it's not to the level that people are claiming. I'm depressed. No, somebody just your TV show got canceled. Fucking go out for a walk.
Yeah.
There's a difference between that and a 45-year-old man who just fucking has to put on this face every day, but he's on the inside wanting to fight and to hate himself.
That is very true to where people are like people get really upset about trivial things or
My
what
team
we
didn't
or
win
what
the
we
Super Bowl. I'm depressed.
what we perceive to be trivial things.
Yeah.
But I think like that's a very good point because I think at the end of the day, we all need to understand that we're all just humans. Like we all are in the same fucking boat.
Yeah.
And we gotta do whatever we can to move ourselves forward. And if one of these things has to be the way to go, and we need to test one of them to where the human race can move forward at a better rate than what it is.
We need
That's
the
the end.
orangutans
We
not
have
get
to-
chewed up and.
We have to try one of them.
So guys hit third gear, shoot a orangutan meat out the back.
We gotta try one of them because something.
He's listening to Coldplay. Yeah. I wish I knew a Coldplay lyric to sing as I.
Just make up one. Make up.